you defined. Hopefully, you've been able to check out, the graphic that's in there. We've got the little ebook that has some information. There's a video that goes along with the ebook to kind of help, work through that value defined. And today we are going to just work on your final activity. Again, these activities are not something that's necessary, just something that I want to make sure you have to come away from each module with, something you can do to help yourself. um, so in this final activity, and I will make sure this is shared, it should be a shared document the uh, uh, in the module so that you can actually work off of it and use it. But really, that all this is just kind of breaking down your experiences into action and then value. So I'm going to do a couple of these here with you, and then you may, take as much time as you need to kind of break down your experiences and your stories. The more experiences and stories you have to reflect on, the more down the line, when we get to building your bullet points, you'll be able to pull from these values and align with the bullet points that you're going to write for your resume. Okay, so let's just think about an experience that we've had. So I mentioned in an earlier module, the resume module, that I was worked at an ice cream shop for a long time. And so, man, I've got so many different experiences that I can draw on there. But very simply, I could probably say that I helped customers, terrible speller, customers. Again, you feel free to laugh at me. Help customers uh, uh, with ice cream orders. So things like taking orders. I'm just kind of throwing all the thoughts in here, and counting money. Oops, we'll come back here. Counting money. You guys are seeing how human I am here. Providing change, things like that, etc. Okay. So what is the reaction? So this is the thinking about the experience piece, right? So great, I had that experience, but how do employers know I did that well? Well, we're going to talk about that later, but what is the value? What can I add to their organization with this? So, and again, I'm just kind of thinking off the fly here. Let's think about some of the reactions. So, one of the things that I did, if I'm remembering this right, is I actually would keep my hand on the register in the spot that had the most amount of orders. So that was like the cones, actually, just when somebody ordered a cone. So I would maybe keep my hand on space on the register where there were the most amount of orders taken. Those were things like cones. And right off the top of my head, like, that's thinking pretty deep, right? Like, why did I do that? Well, the reaction was it helped me become more efficient. So the value that I can bring to an organization is efficiency, right? So by keeping my hand closest to the orders on the register that were very common, like cones, it allowed me to take the orders quickly. So efficiency, I was able to take orders quickly and speed up the service. So if I was interviewing or I was trying to put on my resume for a service job, this could be an experience that I pulled out to help employers see that I could add value to their organization by thinking of creative ways to speed up the service. Okay, let's try something different. I'm gonna pull from a totally different experience. Let me think. I mentioned that let's see, had a study abroad, and I did learn a second language that was Spanish. is Spanish, and I am still learning that language to this day. Part of that experience was I did get immersed into an experience down in South America in a country named Ecuador. Wonderful, beautiful, amazing country. Just so many great things I can say about it. But I did have some hard times. So my experience was that I took a Spanish class with a native Spanish speaker. So many of the teachers, um, let's see, I'm going to actually say native Spanish. I'll just say native Spanish speaker. Many of the teachers I had up until that point were actually Spanish was their second language. But when I had went to Ecuador, I had taken classes with native Spanish speakers, were Spanish speakers from Ecuador, and they were teaching Spanish, teaching the language. That was hard because I all of a sudden had dialects to think about, the speed in which the language was spoken. Also, I was in sort of a culture shock, so just so many factors kind of in the space. Reaction. What did I do? I'm gonna be honest. I just all I did. This is thinking about my experience. All I did was I spent more time studying, and I'm not gonna lie. I didn't get the greatest grades at times. So, but that's okay. It's okay to have a more negative experience, right? Like sometimes we think we have to showcase all of the great positive things we've done, and that's a great thing. We should. But sometimes learning is the best type of thing that you can kind of convey in an interview because, guys, we are all humans and we are going to make mistakes. So, we're going to make mistakes and we're going to have things that aren't always the best. So, anyway, spent more time studying. This was really hard for me. What else can I say about my reactions? Time management was big. And actually, I shouldn't even say that because spent more time studying and then my value is time management. So I had 9 weeks to pass this course. And so I really had to find a way to learn the language in the best amount of time that I could. And so, I could dig deeper. Well, I set aside one hour every day. That was a weekday to study. I also we went on trips on the weekends, so honestly, I didn't have the weekends to be honest to study. So I struggled because weekends are a better time to study. During the weekday, you're at school and you're doing other things and traveling to school and spending time with the family, all that good stuff. So 9 weeks to pass this course and time management. And now I can talk about that experience and talk about the different things I did to help with time management. And that's the value I can add. Okay. So I'm going to stop there. You can keep moving. I would encourage you to fill this whole page up with experiences, reactions, and values that you can kind of pull from because later on this will be helpful. Have a good day.